where we say, when it comes to the pronunciation, for example, a New Zealander who sounds the word that, but we hear like that, the person that, or the word I feel bad, but you will hear like bed, like the bed where we sleep, or the word I have sick members, and then you will hear like we have such member, but the same language, but pronounced differently. Yeah. And how about the grammar use? So a Scot will say, meet you at the back of one, instead of saying after one. Just the grammar use, just a little bit different. Or how about their vocabulary use? Always say the word choice. Instead of using outside, like we normally use as the basic English, they will say I'm with, the same meaning. How about the speech? It's somehow like the grammar use. Like, I'll not do it, or I won't do it, the same meaning, a different way to say the sentence, to speak. And all of these things will provide the social information that we can figure out where the people are from. How about the gender and age? Do you remember last lesson we have the two questions? Do women and men speak differently? Of course, yes, right? And how about do children speak differently from adults? Of course, yes. Except some cases that we try to imitate, or we want to speak like other people. But just some cases, but normally it's different, absolutely different, and we will figure out in terms of the age and the gender. About the gender, so we say women tend to use more standard language, and men will use more vernacular language. What does it mean vernacular language? Kind of they use ordinary language, like basic language. The women will use standard language means that they will speak the same language with other people. Even when we know that where the people from. But sometimes the men will choose the language to speak with other people. Like I have friends, he's an African. When he speaks to me, he will use basic language, but then when he speaks to another African, he will use another language. That's the difference. The language use of the men and women. And the patterns are not universal. It can vary depending on social class, region, and context. The region is mentioned in the previous section, right? And how about the age? And of course, the children tend to usually imitate other people speak, and they will use the language thanks to the environment, especially the family. And teenagers start to use slang, genders, and more than that, a little bit more complicated. And adults, it depends on the situation. For example, when I'm here, I will use formal language. When I speak to my friends, I will use kind of basic language. It depends. So we will know the situation and we will choose the language we use. And how about the seniors? So the seniors think that older generation, younger generation do not understand, so they will use traditional language to talk to others. They want the older generation to understand them. And last but not least, what I just mentioned about ethnicity and social networks. So, as we all know that some ethnic groups may share certain language features in terms of vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, speech, word choice, and so on. And here is an example. So we have our African words to use. So we have some keywords for the social networks. Speech communities, where we share similar social characteristics and we interact more frequently. How about knots and ties? When we say about knots, it means that individuals within the network are presented. And about the ties, when people connected with each other, and we have the word knots and ties. How about the density? Just like it means like the overall interconnectedness of the network. And social networks play a crucial role in sociolinguistics by offering a framework to understand how language variation change according to speech community. So there is an intersection between ethnicity and social networks. People usually form close relationships with others from their own ethnic background, and these social networks can reinforce ethnic dialects or language or speech habits. However, social networks also lead to language change, and different ethnic backgrounds interact briefly and may start to adopt some each other's linguistic features. It means that we will accept the differences from other language, even when this is the same language, but different way to pronounce, we all accept. And we call this is the convergence. So in conclusion, for the first part, the identity. Language is not just a tool for communication anymore, but it's also a powerful marker of identity. And the way we speak reflects and shapes our identity, social identities. Yeah. And now let's move to the next topic. Is also the main topic of this presentation, the characteristic of Venus language. Maybe because we are females, so we choose this topic. Okay, so let's welcome me.
Okay, we have a lot of different characteristics of women's language, but I feel like there are 6 common characteristics that you can find almost like all of the females in our class, particularly. The first one was hatching. So women tend to use more hatching, such as short of, kind of, or it seems like, so which can make their speech appear less assertive. So we use hatching, women tend to use hatching. So just for shortening assertions, some words like might, could, may, would can, in order to make assertions less forceful or definitive. So the second function of hatching was expressing uncertainty. And I find that using adverbs such as probably, maybe, perhaps, or possibly, that's just in order to indicate that the speaker is not entirely sure about the information. And the third functions of hatching was mitigating disagreement. Just I found out that can reduce the impact of a disagreement or just to for some different opinion. We just use phrases that avoid the direct answers. For example, that's an interesting point, and we can use that phrase to give us more time to think about the answer. Yes. The next one from the characteristic of women's language, and I found that tag questions. We always use tag questions just to make the questions for confirmation about the question and the answers. And we likely to use tag questions for it's nice, isn't it? Which can suggest a lack of confidence or desire for confirmation that I mentioned before. So in this tag questions, we have it also have 3 functions I mentioned about the questions that to confirm that we already met, right? It's kind of the same meaning. The third function of the tap question is tentativeness, and I found that it can, in order to invite the listener to confirm or correct their understanding. For example, like this is the right way to do it, isn't it? Yeah, we always use the tap question just to confirm the answer for the questions. And like I want to take a deeper information about the politeness in the tap question. So I divided the politeness into the third characteristic of women's language. Women often employ more polite forms of speech, including indirect request and use of please and thank you. So, like for example, like in the direct questions, in the direct order, give me the salt, and you find that it's just the order. Like you are so rude if you think that you can make them give you a salt or something like that. But besides that, we use like women's language. We always use, could you pass me the salt, please? It's kind of more polite way. So indirectness, or you can say politeness in this, I think it involves making requests or statements in a less direct manner to avoid imposing on the listener. And next one, in the politeness, we also using titles and honorifics just to show the respect for the listener. As you can see that we always use Miss May or Miss Ha or Miss G. We just don't use the name for only as we have to use the title and honorifics just to take their attention, just make them pay attention to us. Just like for example in the slide here, like Mr. Smith, could you review this report? Yes. And next one I have the third version of the politeness was using modal verbs and social language to make requests and comments more polite. Like for example, like would you mind opening the window for me, please? Or like could you please take a look at this document for me? Yeah. So the fourth one was offering apology or excuses to soften requests and statements. Like, I'm sorry to bother you, but could you help me with this? Or, excuse me, I just need a moment of your time. Yeah. And we always feel like we just think that kind of we humble to say with another man or another woman just to make them feel like it's not a big deal. Yeah. So here we have about the politeness, and I also divided into two sections. The first one is positive politeness, and the next one is negative politeness. And positive politeness includes showing friendliness and camaraderie. And negative politeness strategies aim to minimize the impositions on the listener and shows respect on their autonomy. And like I use example here is for positive politeness. That's a great idea, and just let's finish this project together. It's kind of positive, but it can become to the negative politeness. Like I don't want to trouble you, new restaurant, maybe. I think so. Yeah. Next one is using rising intonation in seeking agreement or confirmation. Like when making a statement, like rising intonation can be used to seek agreement or confirmation from the listener. Like for example, you can see that it's really hot today, isn't it? Like that you use tough questions for it. And you are going to the concert too, right? Yes. Okay, and next one, we use rising intonation just to imply a question. Like even when we don't form a direct question, rising intonation can imply that the speaker is seeking a response or further information. For example, like you saw the new movie, or you from New York, just to confirm the information that you already get, right? Not. First and the last one was politeness and softening statements. So rising intonation can make comments or requests sounds more polite and less authoritative. For example, like, can you pass the salt? As I mentioned the example before. And could you help me with this? Yes. So the fifth characteristic of women's language was empty adjectives. We always use empty adjectives to some to compliment to other people that we want to say something good about them. And I think like empty adjectives is something like adjectives that convey emotional response or subjective expressions rather than information. Like empty adjectives are commonly associated with women's language because they can help to rewrite and social connection by expressing positive emotions. And empty adjectives can create friendly and supportive conversational environment and show us attentiveness and responsiveness to others' feelings and experiences. So, like you can see that empty adjectives is such a thing like lovely, adorable, wonderful, nice, charming. Like for example, these adjectives often emphasize the speaker's feeling and attitudes rather than providing concrete descriptive content. Like we always do, like, wow, it's a lovely house, or wow, you are charming, you're such a charming prince, or wow, you are beautiful woman, something like that. So I compare with men language is that men might use fewer anti-adjectives than women, just to they tend to use more descriptive or factual language, and men's language may emphasize clarity and informativeness over emotional impression. Just not like other women, we always put the emotion into the sentence. And empty adjectives can convey enthusiasm and positive emotions, like enhancing the expressiveness of the conversation as well. Next one, I have an example of all the empty adjectives. Look now, empty adjective, as you see, is not emotionally, right? How was the weekend? It was good. I went to the concert. I played well. This that. But if we, as a woman, use empty adjective, the sentence becoming more emotional. Just like, how was your weekend? It was absolutely wonderful. I went to this lovely concert and the band was simply amazing. Yeah, we put some emotion into the sentence just in order to make them feel like that they are better than express their emotion. Yes. Next one is also the last part of the characteristic of the language is emotional emphasis. Yes, as I mentioned before, like emotional emphasis refers to the heightened use of emotionally impressive language to convey feelings, attitudes, or moods. Yeah, reuse of intensifiers is I am so excited about the party. This is really amazing. Or emotionally charged adjectives, for example, like got a lovely dress and gave an adorable speech at the wedding. So the use of soul, the use of the word soul, strength of the positive emotion. For the next one, the word lovely, like an anti-adjective lovely, can convey a positive emotional reaction. And from the example, adorable, in the for example, like expresses affection and admiration. So about the exclamations, like we use wow emphasizes the speaker amazement. And the last example is oh no, I can't believe it. Is the speaker wants to highlight the speaker's shock or disappointment effect. So, like I want to take a deeper on the comparisons between common language and the pragmatic language use that we already learned in the Sociolinguistics course. So I want to take a deeper comprehension about that. So I want Miss Han to take continue.
We continue with the last part of my part, reason. We learned about languages and language use, and I want to focus on two key points: is first, form and intent. This examines how different grammatical structures, for example, questions, commands, reflect the speaker's intent and social dynamics between speaker and listener. And the next one is implicator. And this could discuss how implied meanings arise from context and background knowledge, guided by principles like drives maxims of conversation, by quantity, quality, relation, manner. And next we'll compare women's language with B2 point, and we can see how different forms of expression and intent, as well as the use of implication, play crucial roles in communication styles and social interactions. Here's the table. We put some main points. The information that Ms. Me just bring to us. First, in in women's language, characteristics use of adjectives to soften statements, making them less direct and assertive. And in form and intent, we examine how different grammatical forms convey varying degrees of politeness or assertiveness. For example, would you mind leaving the room? Yes, sort of. And in indicator, patches can create multiple indicators depending on context and background knowledge of the listener. Intact question. Women's language is the use of tag questions to seek affirmation or confirmation from the listener. But in form and intent, different forms of questions can indicate varying levels of speaker intent and authority. And indicator with tag question can imply uncertainty or seek agreement, and affecting the listener's interpretation of the speaker's intent. In these indicators, the stand-up comedian Fu Nam, right? We told a story that he wanted to go out with friends, and his dad simply say no, but his mother is a woman. She said, "In this house is a hotel." I think it's a very interesting example for this indicators. Is that another way to say no, right? Or let's say, but women say it a different way. And politeness, women's language, higher frequency of polite expression and indirect requests to maintain social harmony. Forms and intent, the form of politeness in request and command, balancing directness with social niceties. For example, when you go upstairs and tidy up the room, and indicators, politeness, stages, influence indicators by shaping how the listener perceives the speaker's intent. And the next one, rising intonation. Sometimes when we hear the invitation from the women, you can guess what feelings she has at that time, right? Use of rising intonation at the end of statements, making them sound like questions and indicating uncertainty. And inform and intent, the tone of the question can alter the perceived intent. And indicator, rising intonation can affect the indicator by signaling doubt or seeking reassurance. And the next one, empty adjective. In the women's language, this frequent use of adjective that convey feelings, but sometimes it's lack of substantial information and informs intent, not so directly addressed, but can relate to the formality and expressiveness of language. And indicators, empty adjective can contribute to indicator by highlighting the emotional tone of the statement. And then the last one, emotional emphasis, the greater use of emotionally charged language to express feelings and build connections. In inform and intent, the emotional tone of a statement can influence its intent and how it's received. And indicators, emotional emphasis can affect indicator by adding layers of meaning related to the speaker's emotional state. And that's some information we can see and we can compare some main points of some characteristic women's language to form and intent and indicators. And that's our presentation. But before we finish, we have some games for all of you to join us. And first, we can check what we learned, what we know about women's language. And next, we can know more about women, about ourselves. So, I'm really glad you can join us with happiness. Please wait a second.
Please join up.
Okay. Okay, you all get in? And when we start?
No. Just wait.
Junior, I want to see. Okay. Lung, oh, I didn't ask. Okay. Andy, me. Oh. A funny person, right? Okay, can we start?
Okay.
No.
Not yet.
No? Okay.
Dễ dàng quá vậy.
Can we start again?
Ủa?
Okay, one more time.
Hả? You have to wait. You have wait. Tension. Đừng có vội vàng quá vậy.
Okay, one
vô không lại được.
Oh, last time we got ahihi, and this time we got hehe. Okay, maybe start.
Yeah.
Okay. Five, four, three, two, one. Yeah, we have some questions, so good luck. Wow, we got 10 seconds. You are done? Oh, four correct answers. Is there anyone wrong? We came to we go to the next question, okay? Wow, born to win. Okay, second question. Hatching in women's language often serves to make statements more assertive, convey soften statement and express uncertainty, simplify language use. Wow! Congratulations, 6 correct answers. So we come to the receipt. Who correct? Who to win again? May I know who want to win? Wow! Congratulations. Look, you go too. So the next, the first question. The use of rising intonation at the end of statement typically indicates a comment, a statement of fact, a question, or uncertainty, an exclamation. I wonder if anyone of you need help. Okay. Most of you correct. I hope to see Born to Win again. Yes. The fourth question. Which of the following examples best illustrated the use of an anti-adjective? We got 4 seconds. Yeah. First, before we see the answer, which one did you choose?
I choose the weather is lovely today.
The weather is lovely today. Yes, that's the correct answer. And 5 stars. The new winners. Who's 5 stars? And oh, cheers! Question number 5. Tag questions in women's language are primarily used to. We have so many time left.
chọn
What happened?
lao động.
We think it was correct. 5 stars. Question number 8. Hypercorrect grammar in women's language suggests wow, it seems like you guys choose the correct answers, right? Yeah. Question number 9. Intense verbs in women's language are used to we got 6, 7 answers. Yeah. 5 correct